So we are now busy with the last section of the sectional view, and it's the roof. So I've now measured the height of the wall, and you can see that the wall is a double brick layer, and there's actually a brick taken out on the top of the wall. Now this is to make space for our roof to be placed on. So I've got a list here, and you can basically copy this list down. This is something that you can memorize for the exam, and this is a list of where to start with your roof and to make sure that you have then covered everything. So all the roof detail has actually been given on your question paper, so all the dimensions are there, and you'll also see all these numbers or labels or names or for our roof part are mentioned in the question paper, and you can take all these and write the dimensions next to it if you make yourself a list like this in the exam. So I'm going to start off with the wall plate. Now the wall plate is the section that actually lies on top of our wall. So therefore we've got that gap in the wall, and we need to go and check at what is the dimensions of these wall plates. So it's 114 by 38, which means it's 2 millimeters or just under 2 millimeters high. So on top of my wall over there, and then it's with the scale, the 114 becomes 5.7 millimeters. So I'm going to go to this construction line over here, and I'm going to measure just that past the 5 millimeter mark there, and then I'm going to draw in a construction line and measure 2 millimeters of the height there. Once I've got that, I can actually draw in that wall plate, and I'm going to draw a construction line because on top of my wall plate will be my roof truss. So now that I've got the wall plate, I'm just going to complete it, and to complete it I need to add the sectioning to show my wall plate, and that is a cross from one corner to the other. So now that I've got my wall plate, I need to determine my roof pitch. Now the roof pitch has been given to me at 20 degrees, and it's actually a shame. I love it when it's 30 degrees, then I don't need to use any other equipment or too many equipment to determine this. So my roof truss is actually going to start in that corner where the top part of the wall plate and the wall actually meet. So it's right in that corner. So therefore I'm going to place my protractor in that corner and then measure 20 degrees. And then from that corner I'm going to draw a construction line from the 20 degree mark towards the corner, and I'm also going to continue just past, so that I've got my angle now of my roof truss. So my roof truss, I can actually draw it in now, and I'm going to start with the one that runs horizontal on top of the wall plate, and I'm going to draw it in there. So this wall runs up against the roof truss. So it lies on, the roof truss lies on top of that wall. So the roof trusses are, the height of that roof truss is 5.7. So I'm going to measure 5.7 there, and then draw in this horizontal roof truss. So the next point that I've got over here, or the second point of, the fourth point, on the third point is my roof truss and overhang. So I need to determine the overhang to see where this angled roof truss will actually start. So the roof truss, let's quickly see, or the overhang Just reading quickly to see if I can see where that overhang is. Roof overhang is 12 millimeters. So I'm going to measure 12 millimeters again with my compass. There's 10, 11, 12. And I'm just going to mark it off on the side and draw a construction line so that I know where that point will be. So now I'm going to use this set square and another set square, and I'm going to place it on that 20-degree line, and then at a 90-degree angle, and that's the reason for using two set squares, I'm going to measure that 5.7 millimeters there, and then I'm going to take my second set square, put it underneath the 20-degree line, and now move it so that I can draw my roof truss at an angle. So there's both roof trusses. I just want to not run it right through the wall. So there's my first two roof trusses has been drawn. Now I need to look at the style of the roof trusses. So this over here is the diagram of the trusses, and they are equally spaced. So what I need to do now is I need to go to my center point of the roof and measure towards the end. So from here to the overhang there, this gives me 61 millimeters. I'm just going to measure it again. No, it's more like 60 millimeters. So that's 60 millimeters. So I'm going to take 60 times it by the scale of 50 equals 3,000. And then I'm going to take 3,000 divided by 20, and it gives me 150 millimeters. So I need to now measure 150 millimeters from the overhang of this roof and mark to see if I can see another truss. Now I can't see that truss actually in this image, so I don't actually need to draw in that truss. So that is, if I've measured correctly now, it's 3,000 from there to there times 50. Oh, sorry, it's 150 to this. So it's 3,000 from there to there. Gives me 150, and I need to divide the 150 by 2. That gives me 75. So I need to measure 75 millimeters from this overhang to this point here, and that will actually now give me the other point of the truss. So now that I've got that, I'm going to measure slightly over 2.5 on the right, and then slightly over 2.5 on the left, and draw in my truss. And then from that point, I need to draw the truss towards the center as well, and that's another 75 towards the center. So I'm just going to mark it here on our horizontal line. So it will be there. And then I'm just going to take 2.5 millimeters from this side. Draw it in. And then 2.5 on the other side. And draw it in. And that gives me my trusses. Right, so the next point after I've done my trusses is to add in. So on my list over here, I've got point number 4 is the ceiling board. So the ceiling board will run from the wall plate on the veranda area and then inside the wall. Then we need something to hold up the ceiling board. So I'm just going to give the ceiling board a little bit of a thickness over here. So it's about less than 1 millimeter. And then I'm going to add in the brandering. So the brandering is what holds the ceiling board against our trusses. So the brandering is 38 by 38, which means it's the same height as my wall plate. So I'm going to start over here and add one there, and it's about 2.5 millimeters. So it's a square, and then it's equally spaced. So that spacing is indicated here on the question paper. So for my ceiling board, it's 460 millimeters apart, so that's 20. So I'm going to use my compass again, measure 20 millimeters. I'm going to start in the center over here and just mark 20 millimeters to the right, and another 20 over here, and another 20 on the inside there. And then I can add in those squares. And there's the branding. So the next step now is to look at, so I've done the bottom part, now I need to move on towards the top part. So the next part is going to be the purlins, and the purlins is what attaches our roof sheeting, and over here it's corrugated roof. So I'm going to start here in this right corner, and I need my 20-degree angle, so I'm going to add a ruler and then my set square, and those, we just see those purlins are 3.7 millimeters. So I'm going to add it over there, and their width are about 2, so I'm just going to measure 2 millimeters and add it over there. Right, so now that I've got that, let me just close it up there. I'm also going to just draw in a line over there. So now I know all the heights. And the same sectioning over here, it's from corner to corner for these purlins, and they are also equally spaced. So once again, if I look at my information sheet over here, the purlins are 53 millimeters apart. So again, I'll just measure my 53 millimeters from the center here, mark it, and then I'm going to mark, I can't see another one, so it will only be the 2. So again, my adding those purlins. I'm going to just draw in a line over here to give my roof sheet some thickness as well. And I see that the thickness of my roof sheet is only 1.5 millimeters. Right, so I've now completed a few things on my list. I've added my purlins and my roof sheet. And what I want to do is I just want to change this angled line over here to a straight line. And the reason for that is my fascia board will go flat onto this line. So I'm just going to add it there. So the roof I can also, the wall I can also complete it and draw it in darker till it hits the roof. There. Right, so the next point now is my fascia board that goes against that roof truss, and the fascia board is 10 millimeters by 1. So against it, I'm going to start at the top there, and I'm going to measure, close it up there, 10 millimeters and a millimeter for the thickness. And once I've got my fascia board, I can now add my gutter, and if there's any pipes that I can see. So the gutter here, again on my information sheet, the gutter is 7,5 by 5 millimeters. So it is 5 millimeters in height. Then it is 7,5 millimeters wide, 5 millimeters height. And if I look at my floor plan, then I can see there's a downpipe, but there's no downpipe in the direction that I'm looking. So from the gutter, I don't need to add a downpipe. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So the last thing on my list is, or the second to last thing, is a roof cap. But because I don't see the center of the roof, I can leave it out. Then the 11th part is a barge board, and they've given me information here on the barge boards. So the barge boards are 15 by 3,7. So that 15, it runs on the top end of the roof, and it's also going to be 1 millimeter past the gutter, and that information is given over here. So barge boards on cable ends, 1 millimeter past the gutter. So I've drawn in a construction line over there. I'm going to draw in my barge boards from the top of my roof to where it goes past 1 millimeter from the gutter, and then its thickness, I said it was, let me just see there, 300, which is 15 millimeters, and that goes to that point over there. So now I need to use my 20 degrees again. So 20 degrees, the angle there, using another set square, and I'm just going to slide it down towards that end point over there. So once I've done that, I now just need to look at all my finishes. So I've added everything that I need to add. I just need to do the sectioning of these walls. So at 45 degrees, I'm now adding the double line space, and on this side as well. And that's then all my wall section. So this brings me to the end of the sectioning. I've actually done everything that I need to do. All the information is added over here. The roof is complete, and that list that I've started off with has helped me a lot to just get the order right. And I just need to go and look then for the specific dimensions to draw it. But one thing I've noted is that while I was drawing my section, is that I actually saw that this opening over here, the patio opening, doesn't go all the way to the top. And in my elevation over here, I've drawn it so that it goes all the way to the top. So what needs to change is that it needs to be the same height as the door over here. So I need to add in a line over there, And then I need to take out the two lines on the left and the right. So I need to take out that line as well, and that will change it slightly. The other thing that I also saw over here is that the floor difference is that this opening floor should be slightly lower than the sliding door. So I need to go and I need to take this from the natural ground line, and I need to measure 160 divided by 50. So 160 divided by 50 actually gives me just over 3 millimeters. So you just quickly see there, 160 divided by 50, 3.2 millimeters. So this should be there. And there. So that is actually what my elevation should look like. And this is the type of things that you'll pick up as you draw other views. And if you have time, then you can fix it. I hope this helps with your exams, and I just want to wish all grade 12s good luck with the EGD exams.